So, okay, you're recording it too.
Yeah, I will record this.
Can you share the materials as the host? Is that possible? The ones I sent to Week2?
Oh yeah,
I sent to Telegram as an attachment.
yes, I will share this.
It's in Word, yeah, so I can read from there as well.
Mhm.
Maybe I need your help to scroll up and down, ya. Nanti kalau naik turun saya kasih tunjukkan. Okay,
Yes,
tunjuk.
sir.
Thank
Okay,
you.
maybe we can start now, sir.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
ready. Yeah.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, everyone, how are you today?
Alhamdulillah, great day.
Great. Okay. Thank you for coming for this meeting. We will continue our meeting for academic writing with Mr. Frank and Prof. Agus, and we will learn to continue the last material. Have you, what should I say? Would you do the assignment that Mr. Frank sent to you last week? Riris and others?
Actually, not yet.
Not yet. Okay, it's okay. We will do later and further, and maybe I give the time for Mr. Frank to share the knowledge and experience and the explanation about what is academic writing that we have to know more. Okay. Okay, Mr. Frank.
Thank you very much, Master Nuwu Nasir from Javanese. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh semuanya. Students, maybe some of you are new, did not join last week, so also welcome to the newcomers. Selamat datang. I'll try not to speak too fast because Agus advised me to slow down a little bit because some students have never heard a native speaker before, so it's a new experience, and I'll speak slowly and clearly. Okay, but not too slow. Then you'll fall asleep, ya. Nanti tertidur kalau saya. If I speak like this, you fall asleep. Okay, so I'll just use a regular kind of presentation. Last time we talked about the main points you have to keep in mind when you write a paper for the first time, especially an academic paper or essay. It could be a journal article, it could be tugas, an assignment from your lecturer. We looked at several points. You can keep that material. That was session 1. And we also looked at some titles because when you send your paper to an editor or to your lecturer or to a supervisor, anybody, maybe abroad, you send it to other students who are interested in the material or in the topic, you have to make sure your title is correct because it's a first impression. That's why we practice with the pictures of different people. First impression gives you an idea what job they are doing. For instance, we looked at a sniper and different kind of profession, just to give you an idea that the first impression counts. It's important. So we looked at several titles that were wrong, and we tried to rewrite them, to rephrase them, make them better, make them more acceptable to the editor. So could we start at page 14? Is that okay? Halaman 14 yang saya kirim, ya. If you can share the screen.
Okay, I will share the screen.
Play it again, because just to revise, to review those titles. Yes, you're sharing now. Okay, and it's that was the test, and it's on page 14 of the handout I sent you. This was the practice test, but the one I sent to Ibu Ainu today.
On the practice.
So just session 2. It's called session 1 and 2, I think. Yeah, this is the practice test. That's okay. We can talk about it. Or do you want to do this first?
Okay, everyone. Do you want to do this first?
It's up to you. It's fine with me if you. So this was the end of last session, I gave you an assignment to fill in the TOEFL simulation test, which is two parts. Part one is sentence completion, which one fits in. So there's one blank, and it's missing like tip X part of the sentence, and you have to choose between four possibilities: A, B, C, D, multiple choice. Ganda pilih ya, pilih ganda. And which one is correct? Which one would fit in if you were writing? Ya, yang mana yang cocok seandainya Anda menulis kalimat ini? Shall we start here? That's okay. We'll just take it from the beginning. The first sentence is about a waxwork pioneer, orang Prancis, Madame Tussaud, who made first museum or kind of set up a collection of waxworks, jadi semacam patung dari lilin, and to make lookalikes of famous people. And you can still find them all over the world. There's one in Thailand apparently that's very good. There must be one in Indonesia as well. Madame Tussaud, so this French lady, left instructions that her unique show must be entertaining, instructive. Now you have to link up these two one part of the sentence is hidden. Both, yeah. Madame Tussaud left instructions that her unique show must be both entertaining, instructive. How do you link these two adjectives? Jadi ada dua kata sifat, entertaining, menghibur, and instructive. Now, what do you put between them? Because both, you fill in something. Who can answer? A, B, C, or D?
B.
B, yeah, and because both, you combine two elements, A and B, so both and. You cannot use to or as well or also, although you can use these in different combinations. But when you have both, then you choose B. Thank you for coloring it. Yeah, that's the correct one. Both entertaining and instructive. Yeah. You could say must be entertaining and instructive as well. That's possible. But this is okay, both and. Number two, past and present. Then you get a verb phrase, ada kata kerja ya yang missing, and so should the great and the humble. So these are from this exhibition. It's about the past, it's historical figures, it's people who are now, who are currently popular, that are covered, Ronaldo, for instance, you find these people. So both from the past and the present, and so should the great and the humble. So some people are very famous, great Napoleon, for instance. Which? Yes. Which?
I think it's D. Should be combined.
Yeah, should be combined. Yeah, you make a combination is to combine. So should be combined. Very good. Latin is correct. The others are the wrong word order or the wrong kind of verb phrase. Should be combined. Sebaiknya, seharusnya dikombinasikan. Yeah, very good. Number three, the action hero Vin Diesel, the man with no hair, very strong muscles, is best known for his role in The Fast and the Furious, which, you're talking about one movie, The Fast and the Furious. What would you choose as the answer? A, B, C, or D? So it's one franchise. It must be singular, tunggal, yeah? So,
I think A.
yeah, verb plus S, yeah, you know this from your grammar lessons. Spans. It spans over half a dozen movies. Jadi ada lebih dari 6 ya, lebih dari selusin film that are part of the franchise called The Fast and the Furious. So they keep making new parts, sequels of this movie. He is presented as the macho type. Ulen ya, yang berotot, yang keras orangnya. Covered in body tattoos, even though in real life he does not wear any. So the tattoos on his body are added for the movie, but he doesn't wear them in real life. So he is presented how? In what way is he presented? Usually you need an adverb for this, kata keterangan. Which one is the adverb?
Typically.
Yeah, very good. Typically, yeah. So he is a typical kind of superhero, or before the superheroes were adopted from comic strips, from movie. He is typically presented as such a type. Very good. So we call this an adverb, yeah. Kata keterangan. How is he presented? He's typically presented. Typist looks interesting, but it's what we call a distractor. Menarik perhatian ya, tapi teks ini tidak tentang tukang ngetik ya, sekretaris, dat beda. So don't choose the distractor yang menarik perhatian. From her acting role as Lara Croft, should be Croft, that put her in the global spotlight to her real-life job as Goodwill Ambassador, Angelina Jolie has proved to be what? You need a noun phrase, yeah? You describe a person in a noun phrase, kata benda. Jadi ada kata sifat, kata benda, ada or the article here. Which one fits the context? She's proved to be
I choose C.
professionally, really, too many adverbs. You're talking about a person, kata benda.
A.
A pro-reader, pro-reeler. Reeler doesn't mean anything. A reeler is not a person. So which one do you prefer? A person who is professional is a real professional. B, yeah? Yeah, the others are impossible combination. A real professional. So professional can be an adjective in English, but also a noun. Yeah, sebagai kata benda bisa. So if you're a linguist, you have to know everything about language that makes you a professional, and so on. Okay. Could you scroll down? I can't touch it. So ke bawah sedikit ya.
Mbak scroll Mbak.
Okay, that's it. Yeah. Apart from being the queen of the tennis courts, Serena Williams is a highly blah 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 fashion designer. You expect an adjective, kata sifat. Yang mana yang cocok? Highly, yang sangat berhasil ya.
Successful?
Yes, very good. D is correct. The others are impossible here. You could say she's a great success as a noun phrase, but successful here is correct. A successful fashion designer. So not just a tennis champ, but also a fashion designer, because she may hurt herself. She may have to stop playing tennis at one point, and then she can continue with her secondary career. Okay. Her clothing label, Aneres or Aneries, I don't know, is the reverse spelling of own first name. So if you look at her name Serena, you turn it round, like people from Malang say ngalup ya, instead of pulang. You turn round the word. Which one is correct here?
Her own first name.
Yeah, her own first name. The name is hers, it's her name. Yeah, very good. We call this a possessive pronoun, yeah? It belongs to her. It's her name. Okay, very good. Number 8, some critics have drawn attention, thank you, to the fact that when she loses a prestigious match, what comes after the comma? It must be a phrase, yeah, usually. Subject, verb, object. Which one fits? Jadi dia suka meledak ya. Sangat marah. Tidak bisa mengendalikan diri. She cannot control herself. What happens? So it's actually a joke on her name, right? Because serene in English means calm. Orang kalem ya, yang justru tidak meledak. But when she, some critics have said, when she loses a match, she's a bad loser, not a gracious loser. She loses her temper. Ya, sampai meledak ya. Lost control, you say in Indonesia. Which one fits after the comma? So it's a phrase.
Let's try Sandy and others.
Yeah. Anybody?
B.
It's P, sir.
Yeah, B. Your temperamental outbursts when you blow up, yeah, you meledak, are far from serene, jauh dari kalem, yeah. So her name may not be a suitable name for her because she's not a calm person. When she loses, she blows up. She has temperamental outbursts. Jadi temperamennya tinggi dalam bahasa Indonesia. Very good. Here, a very tall man, Zhao Ming, at meters 29. Zhao Ming is yang tertinggi. You use the superlative in English. Yang paling, yang ter, blah, blah, blah.
The tallest.
C.
tallest.
Mostly tall.
A.
No, mostly tall would be, today he's mostly tall, but tomorrow he's smaller. Tidak bisa ya, berubah dia. So A, the tallest, yang paling tinggi. Yeah, mostly tall. I'm mostly kind to my students, maybe not 100% of the time, but mostly, most of the time, okay? It's a different context. Number 10, he received his gifts of remarkable height and athletic, something missing here, from his Chinese parents who were both very tall, pros. So both parents were also professional athletes, maybe even basketball players, and their offspring keturunannya juga tinggi. So he received his gifts of remarkable height and athletic something. A noun. You need a noun. You kata benda apa?
Talent.
Talent, very good. Bakat ya. Same in Indonesian. What's a talent scout? Who can explain talent scout? Itu semacam pramuka atau apa? What does a talent scout do for a living? All sports teams, professional sports teams in America and some in Europe, have talent scouts. They employ somebody to do what?
To scout talent, sir, or headhunter, maybe.
Yes, very good. It's like a headhunter, but a headhunter looks for brains, you know, somebody who's very smart who will be good at a job. And talent scouts look for very athletic candidates or people who have great talent at a certain sport. So talent scout, very good. It's kind of headhunter, but in this case, he's hunting for athletic talent, you know,
Pemandu bakat.
future champs. Yeah, very good. Nothing to do with scouting like pramuka, ya, kepramukaan. That's different. Very good. Number 11, ranked among the world's 100 most influential people by Time magazine, itu majalah Amerika ya, on 9 occasions. Oprah Winfrey is the first African-American woman to earn more daripada. You compare it. So she earns over $1 billion US, 1 miliar, yeah, incredible. She may be the richest woman in America, certainly the richest African American woman. She earns more daripada. Which word fits?
Then.
That.
E.
Yeah.
Then.
Then.
Yeah, because see, then is kemudian atau lantas, yeah. When you tell a story and then my friend came in and he bought us a drink, that's different. But here, than, so daripada, spelling THAN. Very good. Down to number 12. Bawah sedikit, yeah. Thank you. The Indonesian pop diva Anggun C. Sasmi, I think her name is, has sold as many as 3 million CDs, compact discs, in the West, especially France. Something missing, something negative, counting her home country of Indonesia. So she was born, I think, in Surabaya, and then she moved to France. I think she even became a French citizen. But here, you want something negative because you're tidak terhitung itu ya, Indonesia. Which one? No, nor, not, or neverly. Two don't exist. Ada 2 jawaban yang tidak ada dalam bahasa Inggris. Tidak muncul di kamus manapun. So you're left with 50% of 2 choices. Which one? Tidak termasuk Indonesia.
Everyone?
C.
Yes, not. Very good. Neverly doesn't exist. Tidak ada. And one doesn't exist, but one is a different context. No means when you're on a diet. you're not supposed to eat it or drink something, and no, sesuatu yang dilarang ya, dilarang. So that's a different one. Neverly doesn't exist. Nor using combination. Neither me nor my brother drink alcohol. So kedua-duanya tidak. Number 13, almost finished the first part. 3 more to go, 13, 14, 15. Number 13, she's also been a goodwill ambassador for the United Nations since 2005. As if she, seolah-olah, seandainya ya, as if she, what do you feel, in a part-time diplomat. So she's not a diplomat, but it looks like,
Were.
yeah,
Were.
as if she were. Very good. The subject, if I were you, I would practice English every day, but I'm not you. So it's an unreal situation. If I were Jokowi, I'm not the president, but if I were him. So were for all persons, for I, you, he, she, it, they, we, they, it's you, plural. So were one subjunctive, we call this. Yeah, very good. Number 14, in her own charming and disarming way, Anggun has helped the underprivileged access to financial assistance. Jadi orang yang kurang mampu dapat bantuan keuangan ya, so they get some kind of aid here. You need a verb here. Which one is the verb? Masuk ya? Mengakses ya.
Gainer.
D here, gain is correct. The gains are the profits. What are we going to do with the gains? Profits, keuntungannya. Gainer is a person, and gainly is not used in English, but gain is correct here. So she helps them gain access. Very good. Help without to, yeah? She helps them do that. Number 15, the last one, to sculpt the figure of a celebrity. Something missing? Madame Tussauds Bangkok Museum in Thailand. A skeleton is created from metal tubing and wire. So they have the bones of that person, and they use it to sculpt the figure, to make a kind of patung of a celebrity. What's missing?
B.
B is correct. At is used at places of entertainment, places of education. So at Agus University, at Universitas Ronggolawe University, at the library, at the cinema, at the theater, here at the museum. So very simple. At can be used for places of education and entertainment. And also when you talk about traveling, you get off at a station, at an airport, at a bus stop, and so on. So remember, at has fixed combinations that always apply. Simple rule. Okay, well done. Part 1 is usually the easier part. You spend maybe 15 minutes on it. If you have 25 minutes for a structure test, 10 or 15 minutes should be spent on, maybe 10 is better, 10 minutes on part 1, sentence completion. Thank you. Over to part 2, which is error identification. More difficult because you have to be like a teacher. You have to find the mistake. We all become Professor Agus Bardono. We get out our red pencil and we have to find the mistake. Yeah, in the identification of errors, which one is wrong? In every sentence, you see 4 parts that are underlined. Jadi 4 bagian telah digarisbawahi, and they are marked A, B, C, and D. One of them is wrong, only one mistake. Find the mistake and then you score a point. Number 16. The American novelist F. Scott Fitzgerald once observed that work is the only dignity to be found in this life. And this Calvinistic observation upsums the religion of the Victorian age. So it's actually a 19th century ideal that, you know, the only meaningful thing in life to become a dignified person, orang yang bermartabat, is work. Work makes you a better person. Only one is wrong. If you find it difficult, first look at the correct ones. An American novelist, somebody who writes novels is a novelist, a novel, yeah? That's okay, nothing wrong with that. The only dignity to be found, that can be found in this life, is fine. Victorian age, the age of Queen Victoria, so the second half of the 19th century. Yeah, Ratu Victoria was active in 1850 to 1900. So here, A, B, and D are correct. Nothing wrong with them. So it must be C. We call this elimination. Buang dulu yang benar, tinggal yang keliru, yang salah. Up sums should be the other way around. Yes, sums up. Let me give you a summing up. Let me give you like an abstract. You mentioned the main point. So in English, you get the verb and then the preposition. Kata kerja dulu, baru kata depannya. Ya. You sum up. You look up a word, not up look. Can you look this up for me? Can you Google this for me? And so, yeah. So kata kerja baru kata depan. Verb plus preposition. Number 17. In England, where this kind of Puritanism found its most fertile soil, work was only dignified if the work itself had dignity. A little bit of advice here, a tip. If you find it difficult, look at the spelling. Ejaan yang salah. Who can find the spelling mistake? Or punctuation, to be more precise. So look at commas and apostrophes, koma ke atas ya. Yang mana?
Yeah. What is your answer?
Yeah.
Guys?
B.
Yes, for B, because its soil is tanahnya. And when you talk about the possessive here, it's no apostrophe. So ITS, hanya ITS. Sunan Giri University and its rector. Rectornya. Yeah. So you don't use an apostrophe because the apostrophe here would mean it is or it has, and you don't need that. Here it's just possessive, yeah, miliknya. So its soil, Indonesia and its leader, Jokowi. Okay. Well done. Number 18. This was a period when leisure, free time, for many was spent eating, sleeping, and traveling to and from work, what we call commuting. So look at the possibilities. When, many, was spent or to and from. So from A to B and back from B to A. So if you live in Tuban but you work in Gresik, you commute back and forth, yeah, to and from work. That's okay, actually. A period when you refer to time, that's fine. So A and D are correct. It's between B and C. Which one is wrong?
C.
Many people, just many. That's okay. So
D.
leisure means leisure time, yeah, free time. For many, meaning for many people. A lot of foreigners study Indonesia, but many find Javanese difficult, or Sundanese, or Balinese, the local languages, meaning many of them. So here, for many people, C must be wrong, yeah? Could you correct it? Not was spended, but irregular, tidak teratur.
It's supposed to be was spent, sir.
Yeah, very good. Was spent with a T, yeah, at the end, so not spended. Although children in England say this if they don't realize it's irregular. How many was spent? I was spent, yeah, T. Very good. Number 19. In those days, the thought of make money from entertainment, from ill-spent leisure, was considered immoral. So if you were an entertainer, you were an immoral person. Even a comedian or a musician would be called immoral professions. Pekerjaan yang tidak bermoral, ya, yang nakal mungkin ya dianggap nakal. So in those days, looking back to those days, that's fine. The thought of make money, it sounds a bit strange, from entertainment, from entertaining people, that's okay. From ill-spent leisure, so leisure time not spent in the right way, was considered dianggap immoral. What about make money? Somebody can tell you to make money. This year, if you don't pass your exams, you have to make money, you have to find a job. But here, the thought of doing something, the thought of having to work till you're 100 years old, maybe a nightmare. You don't want to work till you're 100 years old. So the thought of doing that, making money, very good. So B, yeah? The thought of making money from entertainment was considered immoral. If you were an entertainer, you were a bad person, or at least regarded as a bad person. Very good. 20. The entertainment world was regarded with lofty indifference. Indifference is rasa cuek, ya, tidak peduli, ketidakpedulian. And visits to the theater or music hall were accompaniment by feelings of guilty. Sorry, there are two mistakes because there's there's a typing error here. Ada salah ngetik di sini. The entertainment world was regarded, was considered, same meaning, like number 19, with a lofty indifference. So people don't really care about it. Visits to the theater or music hall, where there were cabaret acts, actors, songs and dance and so on, were accompanied, diiringi, by feelings of guilt. So two mistakes here. Accompaniment should be accompanied, EAD di belakang, and feelings of, oh sorry, guilty is correct. C is wrong because it says guilty indulgence. Yeah, feeling guilty, that's fine. So C is wrong. Accompanied, pasif, bentuk pasif, were accompanied, telah diiringi, ditemani bisa juga ya. Okay, scroll down, 21. Hampered by so straight-laced opposition, the silent film industry in England never flourished. Silent movies are film bisu, I think you say in Indonesian. So films with only music. So a piano player would play live. He would watch the movie, or she would watch the movie and playing a live accompaniment. But people thought that movies were really a bad influence on people. Like maybe our generation comics were seen as bad, or maybe Japanese manga and so on were seen as bad for young people. So hampered by not so. Who could correct so? In English, you cannot say it was so a nice party we stayed till the end. But begitu, so hampered by different word, same letter S at the beginning. Not so, but. Jadi oposisinya begitu keras, begitu kuat, film bisu atau perfilman bisu di Inggris tidak berkembang atau tidak sukses ya. So hampered by such straight-laced opposition, not so, such. It was such a great party we stayed till the end, and so on. Okay, not so. So here such with a noun ya, dengan kata benda. So with an adjective. Yeah. So the music was so lovely, they played on for hours, and so that's different. The American social structure has been less clearly defined. The attitude to work was more enlightened across the Atlantic. So in America, the social structure and the class system was not so clearly defined. So the attitude to work was a bit less strict, ya, tidak begitu keras ini, tidak sampai memvonis dunia hiburan. So the American social structure, you can drop one word. There's one redundant word in the sentence. Jadi ada kelebihan, bisa dihilangkan. Maybe Pak Agus, can you explain redundant word? Like it's not necessary. In TOEFL we call it unnecessary word. Yang tidak perlu ya. So the sentence is overwritten. You can drop one word to make it more grammatical. Which word is not necessary? Yang tidak perlu, bisa dicoret.
Has.
Yes, very good. The American social structure being less clearly defined, meaning because it was less clearly defined, the attitude was more enlightened, a bit more modern-minded. Very good. 23. The basic Victorian principles applied too, but the general emphasis was more on activity. Spelling. Which one is wrong? Because we're not talking about dua, ya. but as well, another word for as well. You don't spell TWO.
TOO, sir.
That's very good. So that's a very common spelling error. Even native speakers make it because it sounds the same. Yeah, it's called a homonym. It sounds the same. Two and two. 2 and 2 makes 4, and so very good. So always watch out for these kind of spelling errors. A lot of Indonesians also write dan in the middle of an English text because they forget and, because terbalik dan and. So always check these kind of little spelling errors. Number 24, well done. You may not have achieved membership of the New York 400 elite families if your wealthy came from toilet partition. So if you made something that's considered low level, you would not be a member. Jadi ini yang keluarga-keluarga New York yang papan atas ya, the 400 elite families. And we're talking about kekayaan. Is this the correct word?
No, sir. It's supposed to be wealth.
Yes, very good. Wealth is the correct one. You may be a wealthy person, but you have or own a lot of wealth. Yeah. How did you get so wealthy? What's your wealth worth? And so on. Yeah, very good. 25. But elsewhere, your work carried no social stigma, so long as you were active and showed a lot of dynamic initiative as a so-called go-getter. Go-getter, the slang, in American slang, it means a very energetic person. Orang yang sangat energik ya, yang selalu berambisi, selalu naik down, a go-getter. So elsewhere, di tempat lain, your work carried no social stigma. So there's nothing wrong with making toilets, for instance.
Yes, please mute.
Karya dari tanah liat.
India, okay.
Ada.
Yeah, sorry, sir. Sorry.
Doesn't matter. Which one is wrong? Elsewhere means di tempat lain. That's okay. So long as long as, same meaning, fine. You were, past tense, no problem. A, B, and C are right. Why is D wrong?
Kalau nggak pakai S.
Because initiative, you cannot count initiative. Just a lot of initiative, or a great deal of initiative, great amount of initiative, but not a lot of. Impossible. In speaking, you could say lots of, but not a lot of. So a lot of, yeah, tanpa S. Very good. 26. The entertainment industries were seen as like essential, and the people who were employed in the sector were accepted, if not respected, members of their society. Were seen, same as what we saw previously, were regarded, were considered, same thing, yeah, dianggap. As like. Is that a problem? Dianggap sebagai. Do you need both? As like? No, you can drop like. They were seen as essential. As both. As like is double meaning. As usually the same status, and like yang mirip ya. You look like Agnes Monica, for instance, or whatever. Okay, down to 27. Nevertheless, many people in the motion picture business had come, past perfect, yeah, from the emotional claustrophobia of 19th century Europe, whose bitter aftertaste lasted well into the 20th century. Difficult sentence. Nevertheless, walaupun demikian ya, that's okay. These people had come before they came to America. That's okay. Sebelum masa lampau ya. So A and B are correct. But look at C. Whose. What does whose mean? WHO''S. Who is or who has? Who's the smartest student? Who's got the best, well, the most expensive bicycle and so on. So here, we spelled differently. How do you spell hooves?
Halwa. Okay.
Yeah, WHOSE, no apostrophe. WHOSE. Yeah. So, who's bitter aftertaste? Referring to claustrophobia. Claustrophobia means when you're afraid of getting locked up, or in a confined, look, in an elevator, in a lift, and so on. Phobia is rasa takut, and claustro means you're afraid of closed enclosed spaces. Yeah. Takut naik lift ya terus tidak bisa keluar. 28. Practically everyone in films had previously worked in the theater or holding down mundane jobs requiring strict hours and a monotonous routine. Yeah. This is difficult. Look at had worked, or holding. That is impossible. You cannot switch the tense. So had plus verb 3, V3 ya, verb 3, had worked. Ini paralel, harus sama. Hold, held ya. Kalau bahasa Inggris yang irregular verb, hold, held, H-E-L-D. So, had previously worked in the theater or held down mundane jobs. It must be what we call parallel construction. Very difficult, maybe the most difficult question. I'll help you with this one. 29. The sudden break into the glamour and excitement of film production, combined with the equally sudden rise up salary, made many film pioneers feel guilty. So these were actually poor people who suddenly became stars. Jadi orang miskin tiba-tiba menjadi bintang besar. Kayak Charlie Chaplin, was born in a slum in London, had no money, no parents, was really awful. He took the boat to America, went on the ship, and he became a big star, the richest Hollywood comedian. And it was a sudden break, tiba-tiba, jadi orang berhasil. So he got the glamour and the excitement combined with the equally sudden rise up salary. And this made many film pioneers feel guilty. Mereka juga merasa berdosa, bersalah. Karena keluarganya masih miskin. Look at up. Who could change the word up in D? Your salary may go up, meaning kenaikan gaji ya. But here, a sudden rise, not up. Dalam gaji. Could you replace it with another preposition?
Sudden rise in salary, sir.
Very good. A sudden rise in salary, meaning in terms of salary. Yeah, very good. Number 30. This guilt was sublimated into an almost fanatical amount of hard work of film technicians and comedic actors, comedians. Look at the spelling here. Which one is wrong? Ejaan yang keliru ya.
And almost.
Yeah, you have to link it up. Very good, because there's a vowel, ada vokal. Jadi an almost fanatical amount of hard work. Fantastic, very good. You've got an eagle eye, a sharp eye for proofreading. Very good. One of the latter, last mentioned, a young bespectacled man, orang berkacamata, named Harold Lloyd, found out the hard way that making slapstick movies also involved greater risks than he'd ever faced before. So when you make slapstick movies, kind of using physical humor, like acrobatic scenes where you jump off buildings and so on, itu mengandung resiko ya jauh lebih tinggi daripada dihadapi sebelumnya. So one of the latter, a young bespectacled man named Harold Lloyd, or by the name of Harold Lloyd, no problem, found out, he discovered, no problem, that making slapstick movies involves greater risks than daripada. but the spelling is wrong. We saw this before in part 1. Remember? Ada yang ingat? Kalau membandingkan ada daripada TH
A-N.
not EN but AN, than, yeah. Greater risk than he had ever faced before. Very good. 32. Almost finished, just a few more. As to posing for a publicity shot, Lloyd had to hold a bomb and look up to heaven, where he nearly ended up, meaning he nearly exploded, yeah? Hampir masuk surga karena meledak. As to publicity shot, Lloyd had to hold a bomb and look up to heaven, where he nearly ended up. Yeah.
Sekarang boleh diwarna. Kita sama menulis tak jam di.
Okay, Putri, please mute.
Ya, tolong ya mute mikrofonnya ditutup karena ada suara latar belakang. Asked to do what? Berpose, ya. So not asked to posing, but
As to pose.
asked to pose. Very good. If you want to do it quickly, this test, you're certain about A, don't need to read B, C, and D. There's no need. You can just skip and go to the next question. Because you already know A is wrong, which means that B, C, and D must be right. Pasti benar ya. Kalau A sudah dianggap keliru, B, C, D itu pasti salah. Okay, so if you want to speed up your test tempo or your pace, then you can, if you're sure A is wrong, just go to the next sentence, 33. The property boy on charge had accidentally, secara tidak sengaja ya, put a live bomb in the box filled with fake bombs. Jadi ada bom palsu, ada yang benaran. So the property boy, the one in charge of what you call gudang, yeah, Indonesian storage, had accidentally put a live bomb in the box filled with fake ones. Which one is wrong?
D.
No, because kalau kemarin saya dengar PIC, person in charge. Who is the PIC for today? The person in charge, yang mengurus semuanya. So at schools this is used, yeah? The person in charge of exams, person in charge of cleaning, person in charge of security, and so on. PIC, yeah? Ada istilah baru akhir-akhir ini. So the property boy in charge, yeah? The wrong preposition, kata depannya keliru. Not on charge, in charge. Had accidentally put a line. Why do you think D was wrong? Ones? So it replaces bomb, yeah, a live bomb and fake ones, fake bombs. Kata pengganti, yang palsu, yang tidak akan meledak, ya. Okay, down to 34. The bomb would have blown the comedian's face to smithereens, to many different pieces, ya. Meledak sampai hancur semuanya. If he had not lowered it to make a comment to the cameraman. So that saved his life, ya. Itu yang menyelamatkan dia. Which one is wrong? Look at the verb. Kata kerja.
A.
Yeah, very good. When you look up blow, it's irregular, tidak teratur. So you get blow, verb 1. Verb 2, blew. The wind blew from the east yesterday, and so on. And blown. Yeah, blown is B-L-O-W-N. So the bomb would have blown the comedian's face to smithereens, to pieces, if he had not lowered it to make a comment to the cameraman. So he was lucky there. Yeah. 35, the explosion shattered the window, cracked the ceiling, and laid him up for 9 months. F-nya kecil, maaf. But he ultimately survived. Look at the last word. Who can correct it? Who can rephrase it? Or rewrite it?
Survive, sir.
Yeah, survived. Yeah, he ultimately survived. So when you have one tense in a sentence, keep that tense. Shattered, masa lampau. Cracked, masa lampau. And here, he ultimately survived. Keep that past tense, simple past tense. Shattered, cracked, survived. Also kind of parallel construction. Very good. His hand was injured. So sorry, down a bit. His hand was injured, and it seemed certainly that he would be blind, for his face was torn and covered with powder burns, as the gunpowder or the bomb powder. Yeah? So it looked very serious. He would be blind, ya pasti. Buta seumur hidup. His hand was injured. That's okay. Kena ya, in Indonesian cedera. And it seemed certainly. Is that okay? Acceptable? Pasti ya, like a kepastian. Make it shorter, not certainly. Will be cut ya ini. It seemed. Who can fill in better? If somebody asks you a question, can I talk to Professor Agus Vardono, please? Certainly. Tentu saja ya. But here it seemed shorter than certainly. Drop 2 letters.
Certain.
Yeah, it seems certain. Yeah, very good. 37, almost finished. Up to that time, Lloyd had led a carefree, happy life, though he had known discouragement, professional jealousy, poorly, worry, killing deadlines, and never-ending work schedules. British people say schedules. Up to that time, up till then, that's okay. Lloyd had been leading, that's okay. A carefree, happy life. But then he had known several things. Discouragement, people said you will never be a star. Professional jealousy, other people envying him his success, his job, his stardom. Poorly, why poorly? If you're dressed poorly, then you feel cold in the rain. But here, poorly cannot be used. Kemiskinan. Use a noun. Kata benda. Who can fill in the right word?
It's supposed to be poor, sir.
Yeah, you could say being poor, or just a noun, poverty. Poverty. Yeah, Poverty. So being poor is okay, but better here because they're all nouns. Semuanya kata benda ya. Poverty. Poverty. Okay. A few more to go. 38. Miraculously, his recovery was complete. A special glove was fitted to his right hand, and he began work on haunted spooks soon after leaving hospital. Miraculously, it's what you call keajaiban, yeah? His recovery was a complete. Is that correct? A complete. Yeah, also. Just a second.
What's a complete?
Yeah. His recovery was a complete. Is that correct?
Complete?
Yeah, no, just complete. Yeah, he made a complete recovery, or he recovered completely. That's okay. So miraculously, his recovery was complete. If you want to keep this form, you can say a complete one. That is fine. Okay, 2 more to go. 39. Lloyd was one of the first comedy movie directors to hold previews, which he would join incognito without anybody knowing his name or his identity as an audience member. Look at A, the firstest. It's too long, yeah? We don't have this in English, the firstest. Make it shorter. Yang pertama. Yeah, anyone?
Yeah, anyone?
Just first, maybe.
Just first, very good. Lloyd was one of the first comedy movie directors. Then you don't need to read the rest. Yang lainnya tidak perlu dibaca ya. 40, the last one. We're finished with the structure test. He believed that the movie audience was one's best and worst critic. Jadi pengkritik yang terbaik dan yang terburuk. Ask them outright to tell you what's wrong, and they'll be hopeless. However, if you sneak in and listen to them, they'll tell you. So, we have mixed feelings about movie audiences. Which word doesn't exist? If you look it up in the dictionary, you won't find it. A, B, C, or D. Ada yang tidak muncul dalam kamus Inggris manapun. Believe is okay. Best and worst. Yang terbaik, yang terburuk. That's fine. Listen to is okay. However, is namun demikian, never with li. So, however or but, if you sneak in and listen to them, they'll tell you everything. However, just is a formal word for but. Okay, that's the last one. In a test like this, 40 questions, if you want to pass with a 60% score, you can make 14 mistakes. 14 boleh keliru ya. But no more, so you can test yourself. Okay, any questions about this test? Ada pertanyaan tentang tes latihan ini? You can ask anything, apa saja tentang tes ini. Ada yang kurang jelas, ada yang perlu diulangi.
Yeah, everyone, do you have any questions?
Or is it-
Sir,
yes.
how do you know that it's wrong? In my eyes, it's all correct.
Yeah, it's the best way is by elimination, by dropping the ones that sound right or that look right to you. It also helps when you pronounce the sentence, when you read it out aloud, which one sounds strange, which one is the odd one out, yang belum pernah dengar, kedengarannya aneh. So you can trust your ears or your eyes, which one looks strange or which one sounds strange. But it's difficult. You need to do a lot of reading in different fields, and not just in your own faculty, but also general English. A good source for this, sumber yang cocok, is Wikipedia. If you read articles about your hobbies, about famous people in the news, and so on Wikipedia, if you find it very difficult, go to Simple English Wikipedia. Ada versi Wikipedia yang bahasa Inggris yang sederhana ya, yang dasar. Simple English Wikipedia, or just a regular one if you're more advanced. Untuk yang mungkin semester 6 sampai 8 ya, tuh Wikipedia yang biasa. Read as much as possible and try to rephrase dengan kata lain apa, or you retell an article, the main points of an article to a friend, to your classmates. Jadi dibaca dulu terus dicerita ulang ke teman. That's very useful practice. Okay, but at the beginning it's difficult. I agree. Itu sulit ya, kadang-kadang kelihatan semuanya benar atau semuanya salah. Yang mana ya yang perlu di-identify ya, identification of error is difficult. Maybe it's the most difficult part of TOEFL tests, or structure is part 2. This error identification is really demanding, quite a challenge. Itu tantangan yang benar-benar berat ya. Okay, good question. Any more questions about any sentence you missed or you don't understand why it's wrong? 1 sampai dengan 40 ya tadi. Ada yang kurang jelas atau mungkin yeah? 1 to 40 sentences, quite a long test.
Rahman and others, maybe? Do you have any questions?
At the bottom you see a picture of Harold Lloyd, by the way. He's hanging from a clock. If you scroll down a little bit, you can see Harold Lloyd. He's bespectacled, so wearing glasses, and typical 1920s outfit. Yeah, he did the stunt himself. Very dangerous, as you can see, hanging from the hands of a clock that indicate 2:45. And if he had fallen, that would be the end of his life. So people took great risks in those days to make a silent movie, to make them spectacular. Harold Lloyd. Yeah. Okay, any questions about the test?
Any questions?
No.
Everyone? No?
Clear.
It is clear?
Advice from Pak Agus, Professor Agus Wardono, advice about structure. Mungkin banyak pengalamannya dengan yang menulis skripsi, tesis di
I think it's so clear. Your explanation is clear, Mas. Right?
Yeah, it's difficult. I agree. One of the students said, if everything looks right, what do I do? It helps to read it aloud. So what sounds strange, that usually helps people. Or you look at the forms and say, have I ever seen this before? Apa saya pernah baca ini? Howeverly, belum pernah. Cross it out. It must be wrong. So people should trust their instinct a little bit more, or their experience in reading English and listening to English. That helps. But it's a difficult part of TOEFL and of any English test. I agree. Okay. Could we go to the
new
Part-
material?
I said to Bukainu, yeah,
Okay.
because I wanted to look at the titles. Is that okay? So last time we looked at different titles, judul makalah, and we looked at the mistakes in them. I want to review that. So it's on page 14, halaman 14, di yang saya kirim ke Ibu Ainu tadi siang. So sessions 1 and 2 ada judulnya. Coba punya.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very good.
This
Yeah,
one?
down to halaman 14, page 14. Yeah, so it's a bit down after we looked at, yes, very good. Yeah, further down, 14.
This one.
This one, very good. So the session for today I call proofreading and editing, and the idea is that you become your own proofreader and editor. You look at the text with a magnifying glass, as you can see in the picture. You look at every detail, every comma counts, every word is important. So how to be your own proofreader and editor. Scroll down, please. Yeah, we see a funny picture. Who can explain it? It's just to relax after a long test. You can laugh because it's a funny picture. What is this man trying to do? Common online activity.
Everyone, can you describe the picture?
What's going on in the picture?
Someone comment on her social media that she is pretty.
He wants to make contact or correspond with the lady in the picture, or on the screen, sorry, and he writes a message. I think you're petty. Petty is a kind of, it's not a compliment, it's like a petty criminal. What you call this, Agus? Petty criminal? Kayak pencopet ya? Penjahat
Petty, tapi petty.
class 3. Petty. It's not a compliment for a lady. So because he writes very quickly, or he is in love with her, he doesn't think straight, he writes the wrong words. I think you're petty instead of cantik, ayu, pretty. Yeah, so he drops the R, he skips the R, and below it says, because he's about to click this, and the woman will be offended, dia pasti tersinggung si penerima. Never underestimate the importance of proofreading. Take it seriously. It's important for everybody. I once sent an email to a person in Brazil, and I didn't know Portuguese, so I wrote "Hello, friend," and it was translated. But in the wrong spelling, and it says hell fiend. Hell is neraka and fiend is devil. So devil from hell. And I never got any reply because the person misread and misunderstood it. Okay, down please. Review based on the exercise from session 1. Rephrasing, rephrasing titles. We looked at what happens when your title is riddled with errors, full of mistakes. It will be sent back by the editor. Nobody wants to read on. If the title is already wrong, it gives the wrong impression. Down, please. So if you make a mistake in the title, that's bad news. Here we see, I don't know if you can see the color, but the red one is wrong and the green is the correct version. Ya, yang merah itu keliru dan yang hijau, berwarna hijau itu benar. This was 12 reasons, lots of problems with apostrophe S. Poetry should be poet because, a writer of poetry is a poet, penulis puisi, and so on. In the second one, what's in a name, again, spelling. spelling, some other problems. You can revise these. Yeah, down please. About Jokowi, there was lots of mistakes. The passive should be praised. Perlu dipuji, and so on. Look at the register or the level. You don't call a president a great guy. Maybe in conversation or in a cafe, but not in a thesis. This was actually an African who wrote a thesis for the law faculty here at Unpar, and he wrote Jokowi is a great guy. That is too informal. Harusnya lebih resmi ya. So a great leader, a great politician, a great man is possible, but not guy. Okay. Again, problems with the passive, should be considered. Linking up, we saw in the structure test, ineffective leader. Africa is a continent, but here we mean African. International relations with an S and so on. You see, these are important mistakes. Look at the subject-verb agreement. Jadi subjek dengan verba harus sama ya. EFL teachers is plural, jamak. So do Asian EFL teachers use humor, not does. That's when you're talking about only one. Does Professor Agus Wardono use humor in his classroom? Yes, he always does, and so on. Then in C2, our Vietnam EFL teachers use an adjective here. Our Vietnamese EFL teachers, funny. Bored is wrong because it means bosan. And you mean membosankan, yeah, boring. So use the right form. If it's many people involved, teachers and students, just use an S, and there must be interviews, not one interview with all of them. So look at the logic as well. Yeah? Down, please. Sedikit, yeah. Okay. Yes.
Ya, Sandi. Please bisa ke atas.
Yeah. Okay.
Ke atas. Why it an classroom, not a classroom? That one. The green one.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, should be in a classroom. You're right. Yeah, I forgot to correct it. Very good. Bonus point for you. Very good. Bagus sekali. Saya lupa tadi in a classroom or in the classroom if it's a specific one. Yeah, not an. Very good. Thank you for correcting me. Oh, bagus sekali ini ada kemajuannya. Okay, when you go down, there's a few more you can study by yourself. The red one is wrong and the green one is right. Usage is the way you use language. Yeah, the usage. Practical English Usage is a famous book by Michael Swan. I use it every day, where you get mistakes that everybody makes around the world. English usage, but here you mean the use kegunaannya of literature, not literary. Literature is sastra, yeah, in formal Indonesian kesusastraan. Comic strip, that was wrong because you mean when you go down a little bit, ke bawah sedikit. Yeah, it should be comic strips. You mean all kinds. A study of how to teach, not a study on the teach, is impossible. So how to teach writing narrative text to Indonesian, not toward. Toward means menjelang. Are you contributing toward collecting money, or towards with an S is okay. Why Indonesians like comic stripping? Stripping is when you take off your clothes. Your doctor may ask you to strip, take off your clothes, but you're not stripping here. Comic strip storytelling. Why they like it so much? ROTFL is Facebook language, yeah, rolling on the floor. That's too informal. In a title, it should be so. They like it so much that they're highly amused, or they cannot stop laughing is okay, but not rolling on the floor is too informal. Okay, look at the picture. Who can explain it? Again, has to do with proofreading. So it's an employer talking to somebody who is applying for a job. Ada yang melamar ya. There's a job interview, and the employer says something to the applicant. Who can read the text balloon?
Correct. Perfectionist. Is it not
Very good.
perfectionist?
the boss or the prospective employer says, it says on your resume or CV that you're a perfectionist, meaning he didn't check the spelling. It should be perfectionist. Orang yang selalu ingin mencapai kesempurnaan, ya, in Indonesian, I think. So always check, especially when you write something about yourself, make sure it's correct English, because if you're a perfectionist, you get the spelling right? So that's the joke here behind it. You can read this, go down please. Structure and written expression test analysis. If you made lots of mistakes, kalau tadi di test structure ada banyak kesalahan yang belum benar, here is a little analysis, analisa, ya. What to expect and why. I want you to do this for next time. These are testing points for structure and written expression I made for you. When you go down a little bit, so it's an analysis of part 1, sentence completion, which is always 15 questions, code A, and these are the testing points. You don't have to know these terms. Ini tidak perlu dihafalin, ya. Tapi look at the examples when you go down. So there are 15 testing points. This is all tested in every TOEFL test. And for every testing point, here A1 for instance, you get an example. Ada contoh, ya, kalimat untuk menggambarkan ini, ya, to illustrate. So here we have, for instance, A1. What is tested here? The united testimony of mankind has a notable knack for establishing only one thing, and that is, you get a noun phrase, kata benda, the incredibility of the witness. B is correct here, because you need a noun, and that's what's tested, yeah? A1 is a noun phrase, kata benda dalam frasa. Okay. In A2, you test something else below this. So here you can fill in, correct answer is B. A2 is a question. When you talk about hantu, yeah, ghosts, what would you ask? And the answer is, the apparition is always said to present himself properly clothed. Jadi berpakaian rapi, as he or she certainly should. So what do you think the question is?
A. Who ever heard of a naked ghost?
Very good. Maybe there's an Indonesian horror movie that was censored or never released where you see Susanna without clothes. I don't know, on Laserdisc, I think there was one, but it was censored by the government. So you don't see a naked ghost in movies. So whoever heard pernah, of a naked ghost? Very good. So this is the verb phrase, ever heard of a naked ghost, A2. Not many profess to see ghosts, and what do you expect here in the blank?
No one holds.
Yes, very good. No one holds, no one believes. And when you hold a theory, you believe in it. Excellent. D is correct. No one holds that the circumstances in which they are seen are favorable to calm and critical observation. Very good. A4, we are passive form. Bentuk pasif. Siapa? So people tell us we are. Yes, somebody said, yeah, we are told. B is correct. Yeah, we are told. So people tell us, we are told by people. Very good. But the seers of ghosts are far from accurate observers, jadi bukan pengamat yang akurat, ya, and therefore incredible witnesses, saksi mata yang tidak dapat dipercayai, is jelas. Which word would you use to translate jelas? No.
Clearly.
Yeah, it's possible. I'll explain. I'll try to explain everything clearly. But Agus always asked me to explain it clearly. But here, it is clear. You use C. C is correct. Because an adjective. Clear explanation. It is clear from their own story. So you explain clearly, kata kerja, kata keterangan. But here, it is clear. Jadi adalah jelas, kata penghubung ini. Before the days of Galileo, there was a general something. Only one. Tunggal, yeah? This is singular. Sorry, no. Walaupun. In English, Indonesian walaupun. So before the days of Galileo, there was a general walaupun tidak universal, ya, tidak di mana-mana. Which one is walaupun, meskipun mungkin ya bahasa Indonesia?
Oh,
Yeah, though, B.
although.
A. Which spelling, A or B? B, that's correct, yeah. B, though. Although, though, not quite universal conviction. Yeah, tough means keras, yeah. The meat was undercooked, so it was still tough. Or a tough guy, a gangster, preman is also tough, yeah. All the dough is out of context. All the dough you need to make bread is in the basket. And so on, different meaning. Thoughts means pikiran-pikiran, beda. Pikiran rakyat, surat kabar di Bandung. Thoughts of the people. Okay, down, A7. It has no suspicion, if he has no suspicion of the trap set for him, he'll pronounce the thing impossible and one more adjective, satu kata sifat di sini. Yang konyol, yang tidak masuk akal.
Absurd, sir.
Absurd, yeah. D is correct, yeah. Absurd. Baca yeah, like bird. Absurd. Yeah. Impossible and absurd. Very good. A8, ghosts are, how are they addicted? Kata keterangan. Jadi mereka semacam pecandu ya. Kebiasaan mereka. They try to escape from us, a habit of evasion. Tiba-tiba hilang, itu khas hantu. Ya. So, which one is the adverb, kata keterangan?
Notorious.
Kalau keterangan biasanya endingnya apa?
Notoriously.
Yes, very good, but not always. When you say, Mr. Agus is driving too fast, not fastly, yeah? So not always, but most adverbs are end in ly, so notoriously. Ghosts are notoriously addicted. Kata keterangan, kata sifat atau verb 3 here. The world happens to have more Buddhists than you compare the Buddhists, more daripada Christians. Lebih banyak orang Buddha, agama Buddha, daripada
Then.
we've seen it. It's the third time we've seen it. They always stress this than, C is correct. Yeah, thank you very much. A10, there can be nothing in the particular belief under consideration, making it peculiarly demonstrable by doing what?
Counting.
By counting noses. Simple rule, preposition plus ing form or gerund, yeah? You learn by doing. You make progress by practicing. You sing better by listening to the best singers and so on. So when you use a preposition, I look forward to meeting you next week. He was scared, or say he was surprised at seeing his school friend after so many years. Jadi kata depan, preposition, plus ing, verb ing. Yeah, verb ing, I don't like verb ing, but maybe gerund, yeah, ing form. Di Indonesia sering pakai verb ing, but it's not a verb. Ini kata benda sebenarnya. Jadi, yeah, by plus gerund. R-nya satu, maaf. Yeah. Gerund, yeah. That's it. Very good. By plus gerund. By counting noses, by doing that. Yeah, learn by doing. In some cases, the witness must be, this one is difficult. Which preposition would you choose? Yang bersalah. Nowadays, Americans say, my bad, my mistake. The witness must be at, on, down, or up.
On?
Yeah.
A, sir. At.
Yeah, at fold. Very good. At fold is a combination, fixed combination. You cannot say on fold or down fold or up fold. Life is full of ups and downs. Ada hari yang bahagia, ada hari yang penuh masalah. Ask any proponents of ghosts if they think that the products of the ask any proponents of ghosts if they think that the products of the loom can show themselves in places where they are not, and barangkali never will be. Which one fits?
Most probably.
C is correct. Very good. Most probably. Yeah. You can say there's a high probability, but most probably they will never be. How many so-called scientific observers can be described as blah 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 ones? Use an adjective. Kata sifat.
Inaccurate.
Yeah, very good. Inaccurate ones, yang tidak akurat. In and im are used to indicate a negative, like impossible, inaccessible, tidak dapat diakses, and so on. Yeah, very good. Two more. If textile fabrics, bukan pabrik factory, yeah, but fabrics kind. If textile fabrics, blah blah blah, that property, they would sometimes manifest it independently. Seandainya, yeah, use the subjunctive, like if I were you, if I were the president, if I were Professor Agus and so on. But here, a different form. Do it by elimination. The have-nots, D, means yang tidak punya, ya, kaum miskin, the have-nots. Has gotten, American English, very informal, and it means has got. You cannot say if textile fabrics has got. Tidak bisa. Jamak dengan tunggal. Tidak mungkin, ya. So C and D are wrong. The haves are rich people, the opposite of the have-nots, orang kaya. So B, C, and D are wrong. It must be A. Pasti A, ya. Kalau B, C, D sudah tidak relevan, pasti A. So if textile fabrics had that property, own that, possess that property, and punya, they would sometimes manifest it independently. Okay, the last one. A15, the testing point is number 15. Belief in ghosts and apparitions is general. Almost everybody believes in ghosts from high to low, yeah? Educated people, uneducated people, high-ranking, low-ranking people. You find this all over the world, that people do believe in ghosts. Possibly, it is shared by the ghosts hantu sendiri. Which ones? Sorry, which one? A, B?
Themselves.
Yeah,
Themselves.
Yeah, very good. B. D does not exist, their self. I often see this in essays, and a lot of foreigners write their self on Facebook, but it doesn't exist. Tidak ada. Ini dunia fantasi. It's people make up this form. Their selves doesn't exist either, so A and D are wrong. Itself for only one, and the ghost is plural. Jamak, yeah? So the ghosts themselves, parallel construction. Well done. Applause all the way from Bandung, from me to you to Bojonegoro, everybody at Sunanggiri. Well done today. And next time, I hope Ibu Ainu can join us again. And I hope Agus will still join us. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining today. And next time, we'll do some more error identification and some real writing. We'll do some academic writing practice. Okay, over to you. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and see you next week.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Frank. Mr. Frank.
Thank you. Bye. See you next week. Direkam ya ini.
Yes, I recorded.
Kapan-kapan saya pengen nonton.
Okay.
Okay, bye. See you next week, everybody. 4 o'clock, yeah? I'll send you the materials. And salam. Okay, bye, everybody.
Have a nice weekend, sir.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for coming on Saturday. Okay, I'll leave, yeah? Bye.
Ya, foto bareng dulu, Mbak.
Oh ya,
Untuk
foto bareng dulu,
presensi.
Mister.
Foto
Good.
bareng dulu, Mas Rang, untuk presensi.
I won't leave.
Okay.
Where's the print screen? Okay.
Silakan di print screen.
Yeah.
Why no?
It's not Bu Ainu, it's
Okay.
facing her.
Yes, I'm ready to capture. Okay.
Agus looks the best in the hat.
Okay. On camera, please, everyone. On your camera, please.
Oh ya, Titik belum ya, Titik Sukmawati, Maryam, Nalia, Naila,
Mbak.
Nazila, Barotut,
Maryam,
Mariam,
Salwa,
Naila,
Marwa, Dina, Naila belum.
Naila, Marwah, Salwa. Come on. Everyone, please on your camera.
Buat Titik,
Mbak.
Salsabella,
Rizal, okay.
Maryam, belum.
Mariam, Naila,
Yeah, Yosa joined last time ya, Yosa.
Yosa.
Yosa joined last time ya, last week. I think.
Hi, Yosa. Can you hear us?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, everyone. I hope you turn on your camera right now, since we have to document this time that you are already here. So next time, before beginning the lesson or during the session, you also have to turn on your camera, okay? Not only when we are taking picture right now. So you have to open your camera also during the session.
Yes.
Okay. I'll take the screenshot for 2 slides. So I need you to freeze a little bit, a bit, since I don't know you come to the first slide or second slide. I'll count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the next slide. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Frank. Thank you, Prof. Agus.
Everybody, thank you, Pak Agus.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Bye bye. Take care. Keep practicing. Okay, bye.
Thank you. Okay, everyone. This is the end of our meeting today. Thank you for joining on this meeting, and I hope you will join in the next week on Saturday. Okay, thank you for your participation. On the last, I say wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Prof.
Waalaikumsalam
Agus.
Ya, saya live ya. Oke.
Okay, thank you. Oke, nanti presensinya di grup ya. Silakan dicek nanti. I will send you in the group. Thank you.